Right, section 2 is about actually how is this possible, okay? So what I just told you is about believing, becoming that future. Raul, you want to pause this and then start again, or you happy just to roll this through? Cool. Okay, so this section 2 is going to be about how is this actually possible? How, like, tangibly, what can make our lives easier to become the future version of ourselves in an Airbnb space specifically. So, a minute ago, you all decided who you're becoming. Now I'm going to show you the how and the unfair advantage that turns that bigger decision from a nice idea into something inevitable, right? There's a little callback here. The same beliefs that kept you in your old identity are the exact beliefs trying to keep you out of this. Let's go. Next up. You were never the problem, right? You weren't lazy. You weren't behind. You weren't lacking ambition, right? You were the one person doing the work of 10 with tools of yesterday. Tools we taught in 2019. Tools we weren't taught when we were doing rent to rent. All those tools, right? Whereas that has just changed. Let's go. Now this is the biggest leverage shift of our lifetime, right? So every few decades, right, we have these things that happen, okay? The internet, you know, the printing press, the smartphone. And AI is the next one, right? Except this time, it doesn't just give you information, it does the work for you. AI created these slides. I put the inputs, promise. But AI created them, right? Daniel AI did all this, right? But Daniel AI is me. So go on, next. Now to grow, you used to need this, right? If anyone can see that, it says the old way, more staff, more hours, more overhead, more review. Every new property added weight, growth cost you your life. The new way, now growth can cost you almost nothing. The work that needed a team can be done by the agents that never sleep. Now the point is, right, and I always say this, right, I made all the mistakes. I had to employ people. I had 8 VAs. You guys don't have to do that. You guys can just use AI instead. That's what we're here to do. So let me show you how we do it. Now, whilst most our operators, right, are arguing about AI or trying to build an AI app on Claude, a small group of them have stopped managing their portfolios and started directing them instead. So same number of properties and a fraction of the time, none of the burnout as well. Go for it. But you've probably been told a few things about AI that keep you stuck, right? Most of your beliefs aren't even yours. You didn't even have a reason like the reason you like, what's it called? You didn't have a reason to actually believe the things that you're believing, especially around AI, right? Next. AI will make my guests feel like a number, okay? This is the most backwards belief ever, and I hear it all the time. Well, what happens, like, what if like, the AI is gonna like message the guests back and then they're gonna think it's AI? Okay, when it comes to guests, right, and anything, any business, or sales, because it is sales, but on the front end, right, or fulfillment, speed, okay? People like Daniel AI because he replies instantly, okay? Whether I reply in 5, 10 minutes, an hour afterwards, you still get a response instantly from me. Does that make life better? Yeah, it does. Same with a guest, right? Speed is the key. And the point is, we'll get onto the point in a second, but like, look, the truth is, done badly, anything feels cold, okay? Done right, AI replies in seconds at 2 a.m. in any language every single time. Like, that is a good thing. And anyone who's out there, and like these big companies that are trying to like, are staying stuck ultimately, they're like, oh, but then like, you know, AI picks up the phone. Well, if AI picks up the phone and answers the guest question instantly rather than your person who doesn't even answer or gets it wrong, that's way better. Like 100%. Speed's everything, right? Your guests do not want a human at midnight. They want an answer. AI gives you the back, the human moments that actually matter. And to be honest, AI doesn't even sound like AI anymore. Like, it learns and learns and learns, like the hostbaby.ai, for example. It's got so much data now that it literally, like, anyone who's on Instagram, if you message me, I can send you a voice note. It sounds identical to me. Literally identical, because it's cloned my voice. And that's what's coming out in hostbaby.ai as well. And also Daniel AI as well can reply soon with voice if you want to hear me talk to me in your sleep. There you go, next. Myth 2, I'm not technical enough for this. You don't need code, you need to delegate, right? If you can write a message to your cleaner, you can direct an agent to do so, right? And the beautiful part is, obviously, I've built them all for you, so it's all good. The skill isn't building it, it's knowing what you want in the first place, right? It's the same as like Zapier or like automations, okay? If you can think it, then you can do it. It's as simple as that. But AI has just made it easier than ever to actually do the things that you thought impossible, okay? Like, one reason hostbaby.ai is so good is not only can you have like AI answer phone calls, AI can answer like 1,000 phone calls at once. There's literally no limitation. So if I have like 4 VAs, but all 4 VAs on the phone and someone rings, no one can answer. AI is just on 5 calls like that, boom, 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 just literally answer everyone's questions, and then they can escalate the ones that don't. Go across. Myth 2. AI is just ChatGPT, a clever chatbot. Don't get me wrong, ChatGPT was cool when it was out, Claude's cool when it's out. Everyone's like, oh, I can just build Claude code, I can build an app, you know, I can just build hostbeam.ai or whatever it is, I build an agent. It's not like that, okay? Yes, you can build some cool stuff on Claude. Can you run it forever? Can it self-learn? Has it got the right parameters in place? Have you even got... The thing about building, okay, this is another thing that people don't realize about building a guest messaging AI agent, if anyone's thinking about it. The compliance regulations around an AI agent is absolutely like ridiculous, because what happens, right, if your AI accidentally messes up and then just starts giving out reservation information to every single person out there, because that can happen if it's not ring-fenced. It took when I like presented this app, we've been building it for 9 months with a full dev team. I've spent 5K a month, 9 months, 45,000 on developers in the last 9 months, done 3 months of developing, 3 months of testing, and then 3 months of actually being live in my account, and now obviously got the 20 clients on as well. Well, I've got now 35 clients. So like a chatbot talks, an agent acts, right? It reads the message, checks your calendar, knows your pricing, answers the guests, updates the system, flags what needs you. And honestly, when I show you the agents that are live in my business right now, which all my one-to-one clients get access to, like it is genuinely blow your mind. Right, next. Okay. Blank screen. AI's fucked up. Next one. Any screen or no? No? All right, fine. Laptop? Laptop's at the moment. Okay. One sec, team. Watch out, matching my payments. Yeah, one thing we can't control, team. Technology. Oh, have I just moved that around?
No, I think so.
Oh, well, fuck it. All right. If it doesn't make sense in a second, I just moved the slide, so come on. Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. Blame Jordan. Nice. Okay, cool. Myth number 4, numero quattro. It'll get something wrong and cost me a booking. Right? AI does not do things wrong, okay? It just literally doesn't. It can't. It works on workflows, right? A tired human at 11 p.m. forgets. A well-built agent never does. You set the rules once, it follows them every single time. Consistency isn't a risk. You doing it all manually is. Like, VAs, right? No matter how many SOPs you build, no matter how much you do for them, there's always going to be an element of human error. That's the truth, okay? And that's not their problem. You make mistakes as well. The point with the AI, it literally cannot make mistakes unless you actively put a mistake into its system. Next. Myth 5, it's too early, I'm too small for this. Small and nimble is the advantage, not the excuse. I always say this. The big players are stuck in the meetings about AI. You can deploy it this week. That's what I'm saying. All these big companies, like Silverdor, for example, I was at their meeting the other day. They were like, we need to escalate you to like a new client. Like, we need to help you get AI. Their system is so bad, but they can't change it because they've got VC backing. They've got a board to go through. But my stay's coming up. That's what's happening. But my state agency is going to come over. But it's like, the point is, like, these big companies, even big management companies, they can't implement things fast. Your advantage of being small is that you can implement it fast, scale faster than them, and provide a way better service as well. Next. You're not a property manager anymore. You're becoming the operator of a system. Next. Notice the pattern, all right? Every myth keeps you doing the work yourself. Every truth hands work to something that does it better, faster, and around the clock. Honestly, like, AI is the best. The only real question left is, what would you do? What would you build if the work has no longer the bottleneck? Go. Okay. Here's what we built. Next. I'm flying through this. Right. Rev Manager. Number 1. Revenue Manager, right? Replaces a full-time Revenue Manager and pricing analysis. What happens here, right? Inside my Airbnb business, and again, I'll send you all the slides so you can see all this, but it runs a daily portfolio of health and pricing across every single property, tiers them 1 to 4 based on the 30-day, 60-day, 90-day occupancy, the block nights, the discount stacks, the minimum stays. It analyzes every single property in price slabs, or it calculates, goes onto Guesty, looks at the calendars, it then goes onto Property Market Intel, compares my whole portfolio versus the market, works out which ones are like fast pacing, which ones are slow pacing, and then sends me adjustments to be made. Now it doesn't just send me the adjustments, it just makes the adjustments for me, because after 1 week of learning, I was like, fuck it, send it. You do your thing, man. Because now it's like, I got price slabs, yeah, doing the market, okay, like, everyone's got price slabs, all pricing the same. Then I got my AI agent that has my direct booking prices in there, my Airbnb prices in there, booking.com prices in there, Property Market Intel prices. Just every single day, increasing properties by 15%, reducing properties by 10%, reducing properties by 5%. You still set mins, so you still have minimum prices, for example, but it'll also give you like the exact discount stacks. It'll say like, try a last minute discount here, try a genius discount here. It literally lives inside all the, it can't do all OTAs, but it lives inside the top 3 OTAs. It lives inside Property Market Intel, Guesty, and Price Labs. And just every morning, click the next one. This is how the workflow works. It's got 3 different tasks that it can do. It's a daily portfolio and health, which I just told you about, pulls the 30, 60, 90 days, tiers and flags them. Tiers 1 to 4, tiers 1, 2 are about increasing prices, tier 3 and 4 are about reducing prices. It sends you the full PDF, but now I don't use the PDF, I just let it do it. Applies the updates for you, and then it sends a brief health. The thing about this is, as well, self-learning, okay? Think about a VA. If you told a VA to do this, they'd be like, and the next day they'd be like, but with this, it'll go, next day, boom, it's got all the data from the changes before, for example, right? I was running this weekly, but I was like, you know what? I should run it daily, because if we're getting like 20 to 30 bookings a day, that's a lot of new data, okay? So runs it daily. Property analyze, super easy, sits inside Slack. You go hashtag analyze, you go like / analyze, put the address, postcode, beds, baths. It'll pull the comps from Property Market Intel, Airbnb.com. It'll then score the deal, runs the whole deal analysis sheet and 12-month forecast, and sends a full report back into Slack for me within literally 30 seconds. Sometimes it takes a bit longer, but it's pretty much that fast. Next one, answers landlord revenue questions. So when it's a handoff, it will live in, like, so you'll see in a second, I have a landlord CSM, which sits inside our landlord inbox. When there's a question about revenue, it'll hand it off to my revenue manager agent, get all the data it needs, and then go back to the landlord CSM. Because this one lives inside like all my pricing, knows the forward, knows the monthly statements, knows everything. So it talks to the other agent and then gives the exact answer to the landlord. So if the landlord's like, why are we not priced right? Old matey boy over here goes, well, actually, mate, we're priced perfectly and we're actually pacing way faster than the market. Like, we had a call with our account manager at Airbnb the other day, and a few landlords being like, oh, you know, like, we're not happy with the payout. And then Johnny went on a call with the account manager. Turns out we're literally higher than the market average in every single city we are for occupancy. But then we can just give that data. But now our revenue manager can get that data itself. Next up, Slack notification, not that crazy, but this is kind of what it looks like, a mock-up. Got Rev Manager, looks something like this. You can approve all actions or you can view the full report. This is what it used to be like. Now it just does it and sends me a notification. Deal analysis looks something like this. You put /, and then you put in the address, it pulls it out, whatever layout you want, and then the Q&A cross-agent, it pulls it from the other landlord CSM. Revenue Manager talks back, gives you a summary. Next, Ops Manager, Daniel AI. This is like basically me, to be honest with you. Operations Coordinator and you on call. So it handles every single Airbnb.ai on the front end. So that does all the guest messaging, guest phone services. And the way that it works is, so it does 80% of the guest messaging, 60% plus of the guest phone calls. It actually will go up to 90% on a property level basis, but if you take the whole portfolio, it'll always stay around that because you bring new properties on. But what happens is it escalates anything it can't answer to Slack, okay, in a notification with a summary of the phone call or a summary of the conversation. And what happens is my ops manager, right, will then see the escalation, but like Daniel AI will see the escalation, and it will basically reply to that escalation with what I would do. Because whether there's an SOP on it or not, if there's a VA, it will basically give my idea of what I would respond, because how many calls we've done now? I've done so many calls, one-to-ones, mentoring calls, like all my SOPs, everything like that. What happens is Daniel AI will give a response. There's normally a response to anything it can do. It'll give its response based on what it thinks. And then what will happen is when the VA actually responds to it in Airbnb.ai, the SOP builder will then read the full conversation and then check the SOP bank, check if there's an SOP. If there's not, it'll build an SOP for it. Simple as that. Right, next up. This is what it looks like. Escalation in, looks up, property guest history, past escalations. So it'll check the SOP library in my tone, using my playbook, using all my recordings, everything like that. Suggested reply, and then hand to the SOP builder, who will then build the SOP. Ad hoc op requests, you can just literally ask it. It's the same as that if you ask Daniel AI, but specifically about my business. The difference here is that like Daniel AI, this ops manager, won't obviously send a reference to a resource in Host and Scale. It'll send a reference to a resource in my SOP library, and then rather than send like a video call, for example. SOP Builder, this is one I just said about. Once a loop's closed on Airbnb.ai, very simple, a trigger gets sent when the AI goes back on. It then goes into the SOP database. It'll either skip it because there's already an SOP and no one's read it. Classic. If it's new, it'll continue. It'll write the SOP, summarize what happened, how to solve it, add it to the library, tag it, searchable, team facing, and then obviously can loop back. So if there's another escalation, all good. The big one as well is like when this happens now is because I obviously built Airbnb.ai, we just basically add it to the knowledge base, and we like make the AI agents even better in Airbnb.ai, and that's why it gets so good so fast, because I'm technically like Daniel AI is technically training Airbnb.ai, and my business is technically training the main infrastructure every single day, rather than just letting it like stay as it is. Next up, this is what it looks like. It's fine, we're going to see that. Landlord CSM, we spoke about it a little bit, but it replaces an account manager and your retention risk. So everyone knows if you've got a lot of landlords, you get a lot of questions all the time, same questions, same bullshit, same questions about revenue, some about like, I don't even know, like 5% commission, massive FAQ bank that gets built up over time. It just lives inside the Gmail, automatically replies to messages for you. All of these agents, in the start, you put them in draft mode, so it'll just suggest responses in Slack, and you just click yes or no. And over time, you just say, you know what, deal with that, mate, crack on. But what's so good about this is, like I say, agents can talk to each other. So like Rev Manager, if there's a question about revenue in the landlord CSM, they can then talk. CSM's Client Success Manager, by the way, you don't know that. Or Customer Service Manager, whatever you want. But like the AI here will talk to the other AI, talk to each other, you don't have to do anything, relax. Next up, this is what it looks like. monthly landlord updates. You can actually do this as like a full summary. It's quite easy, to be fair. It actually just pulls, I don't think this workflow is fully correct, but basically what it'll do, it'll pull out the guestie owner report and just send it across to them every single month. Also, it can speak to the rev manager and pull off like a personalized PDF, like based on their exact property, however it wants to look. Landlord lookup card, so you can look up landlords' full records in Notion. Handle landlord questions is the biggest one. Chat to the revenue manager if needed. Yep, easy. That's what it looks like, what it's done today. Listing optimizer. Everyone who's used the listing optimizer tool, this is like what's on the back of it. Basically, rewrites every single listing every single week across Airbnb, Booking.com, and Vrbo. It has a daily ranking tracker, so it tracks your climbers, your droppers. Same thing, right? If you've got a VA to do this, based on what I told you, then that's great. But every single week, they don't see the ranking change. So what happens is here, not only it changes everything, goes back in a week later, and it tests in a spreadsheet like where the ranking is, based on the Airbnb insights, Booking.com insights, and then at Vrbo. So it's like it's a self-learning loop. So I actually see the data coming back into it. And for those who know about my SEO agent, that's what's beautiful about AI. You just create circles, and they just keep getting better and better and better. And that's why it's going to be always better than anyone you can employ. Next. That's what it looks like. Weekly on a Monday, pulls the listings, rewrites them, pushes the updates, weekly brief. Daily pull if you want to. You can get a ranking insight and a self-learning loop. That's a bit relevant, that one is. But that's just basically its ability to learn off the data that comes back in the next week. Next up. That's what it looks like. Next. Ad creator, very simple. A media buyer and creative agency. To be fair, like this isn't massive for this business because the ads are so easy to do, but if you wanted it, you can have it. It's more for my, obviously, Hosting.ai and Airbnb. But what happens is it lives inside Meta Business Suite, optimizes ads 24/7 for direct bookings and landlord. I only do landlord acquisition, but some people do direct bookings. It will auto-generate basically 10 fresh variants every single week. The moment's ads fatigue, so every single week you just get a new. And if you were going absolutely hardcore scaling, which some of my clients are, it works really well because then you're optimizing all the time. You don't have to think about it. You just record the new ads, and it'll do it for you. And like the thing about the ad creator, you can do it on anything. Like if you want to build an agency, if you want to build like any business, it lives inside Meta. It works on a cost per result basis, and then just works out what hook was best, works out what content was best, just gives you new ones every single week, and then you can just keep recording them. Honestly, ads are really easy to run in Airbnb, so just run them once. But it is good because like something recently, a lot of people are like getting loads of leads, but the leads aren't high quality because the hook's talking to the wrong people. So when you feed the data back in of like what actually closed, it will realize that the people who you're bringing in through the ads aren't high quality, and it will try and bring in the high quality ones as well. So you can feed that back through Metapixel, which is what we do. Next. That's what it looks like, daily pull. Next one. That's what it looks like as well. You get the picture, right? Sends a little report every single week. Next. All right, 5 agents, 1 operator stack, £0 of payroll, rev manager, ops manager, landlord, CSM, listing optimizer, ad creator, all running at once, 24/7, never sick, never off, never forgetting. Nearly 300K a year of headcount, agency, and buyer costs, replaced by a stack of AI on one screen. Next. Then we've got Hosting.ai. For those who don't know what it is already, we'll go through it, but that's like the front end. So what we just showed you there, back-end agents. Honestly, with those agents in place, we have 4 VAs for escalation purposes, 1 ops manager, and a CEO. That's not including like our maintenance company, but like that's separate, right? Maintenance company separate, accounts company separate, so like you could say we have some bookkeepers, but like in the actual core of the business, we literally have an ops manager, which is like a guest service manager / operations / like look at the AI. We have the 4 VAs, and we have a CEO. Like acquisitions, you can just keep hiring contractors or reps there if you want. Like that's basically the core of the actual fulfillment of the business. And we don't need to we don't think we'll have to hire anyone until like 500 units. So like our profit margin went from like 27% to like 58% just by reducing costs. I'm kind of stuck with some employees that I'm getting rid of, but anyway, is what it is. I have to cut that out of the recording. Anyway, so Hosting.ai, this is the front end, right? This is the guest messaging, the guest phone service. Like if you don't have someone on the front end, then the reason this is so good is because 1, it was built by an operator myself. Like I've already shown you, Daniel AI teaches it every single day, so it gets better. And the point is with AI, garbage in, garbage out. The reason this is so good is because we don't put garbage into it. It's like 3 years of helping people build the perfect knowledge base now lives in Hosting.ai. So like the knowledge base is perfect and it's self-learning. So it scans, oi, watch it you. It's self-learning, so like what will happen is it scans when you're on board, it scans the last 6 months worth of conversations, build out to the complete tonality of your business. Difference between this and other AI, obviously I've looked at the AI companies because I tried them all. The difference is like they have AI infrastructure and they just place it in your business. This has AI infrastructure and creates a unique AI to you. Scans the last 6 months worth of conversations, creates your tonality, works out what SOPs it can already build, and it has like an actual SOP library for your business. So like you said there about Daniel AI Learning, obviously it's stacked with my SOPs, so it's already pretty smart, but it'll basically get better and better over time. And self-learning, so if you reply in the thread with the actual answer, it'll then put it back into the knowledge base for that specific property level. Next up, what's going on here? Sits on top of all the tools we already used, Guesty, SuiteOps, Slack, Meta, your channels. Now uplisting integration is live, so if you're on uplisting, you want to get access to it, you can. Hostaway is live, Guesty is live, Rental Ready is live. So if anyone's on any of them and want to get access to it, then feel free to message me. I personally would just be on Guesty anyway, because it's way better, to be honest with you. And then at the center of it all, Daniel AI, you're always hands-on operator. Next up. There you go. Right. The key about AI, right, is that you stop operating as this, like, you know, product management, and you start directing the AI. It's become more scalable than ever because, like, no more living in the inbox, no more 11 p.m. escalations, no more hiring a salary for every problem. Like, I made the mistakes. I had to hire the people. You don't have to do that. You can just get AI to do it. And you make way more money as well. So, like, if we thought that Airbnb was good before, it just got, like, easier than ever because of AI. Next up. Don't have to wait for any of this. This isn't someday, this isn't a 5-year plan. Everything I've shown you tonight, you can start putting into business this week. The only thing between you and it is a decision to begin. Next. You don't have to build it, you plug it in. For those who are already in one-to-one, you get access to it anyway. But start with Daniel AI this week, so everyone who's in the program already. Just spoke about, you're gonna get a landing page access. I'm 100% gonna get it sent to you tomorrow. I've been working on some stuff. Perfectionism, I'm just gonna send it out there, but there's a few things I want to add to it. But yeah, what you'll get, everyone who works with me already, you'll get access to Daniel AI. It's a landing page, more personal conversation rather than posting in the beginner chat or advanced chat. You two over there, having it off in the chat. You can chat, having it off in the chats. For those not in the group, they just abuse Daniel AI in there, the poor guy. Like, why is Daniel AI broken? Credit's gone again. Fuck. But like, yeah, so what you can do is like, you can use it as ChatGPT. And I can show you afterwards what it looks like in a second, so you can see it. But basically, create docs for you, create SOPs for you, create ad scripts for you, everything. Rather than just like pulling data from like the resources, it'll also pull data from my SOPs. It won't be able to send you a link to my SOPs, but it will be able to send you the SOPs or create your own SOPs. Kind of like ChatGPT, but like supercharged, because it's all my source. And then in terms of the 5-agent stack as well, one-to-one clients, you get early access anyway. They'll start getting live in your accounts. And anyone else who wants to get access, then you can just message me as well. Because there's an option to, like, you can subscribe to Daniel AI, you can subscribe to the full 5 agents either. Next up. Everyone here can have that. There we go, Daniel AI. Next up. Next up. Not a sales guy. There we go, cool. Right. In terms of getting access to Daniel AI, just scan that. Or if you want to get access to the agents, then message that. Community members, you probably get access anyway, so you have to scan that. Anyone who's not in the community, scan that. And then you can get onto a list to get access to it. But I don't know what the next slides are, but leave it. The next slides are questions anyway. I went fast through that, but the point is, like, wherever you're at in business, AI is going to change the game, right? And like, if you think you can build it on Claude, by all means, crack on. Like, all good, man. I'm sound. But if you want access to Daniel AI, scan that. Like I say, all the one-to-one clients get access to agents anyway. Anyone who wants access to the agents either, if you're not a one-to-one client, you can scan that as well. And for a while, I was like, how do I do it? How do I implement it? Basically, the way it actually works is I just plug them into your Slack channels for you. Simple as that. And then you have like a client Slack channel with more. And yeah, simple as that. AI, agents. I think what you can do anyway, already, if you want to give them like free source, I guess it's not free because you paid to be here anyway, but anyway. What I would say is, like, play around, even just like day-to-day life, play around with Claude. Like, play around, like, don't use ChatGPT, it's so gash. Just use Claude, go work or chat. Like, it will change your life. And the mindset one, if you go one more, I think we've got questions and it has both of them on there. Yeah, cool. So, like, afterwards, before we leave, come up and scan both of these, just register interest for both, because the mindset one is basically my subconscious. So for those that want to have, like, live at that higher frequency, live at that higher consciousness, be able to, like, talk to it, journal to it, like, that's what it's there for. Imagine like a ChatGPT with my brain, basically, the way I think, the way I act, the way I operate, and you'll be able to, like, put into it, for example, like, I don't know, I chat so much shit to my own self, but you guys can chat to it as well and see what you get. Another thing as well, when you scan that, I'll send you a form, which is after probably tomorrow. Basically, what it's going to do, it's an identity audit. So, like, the exercise I wanted you guys to do, where you draw yourself, find out what your alignment 5 is, find out how you want to live your life. That's what the decision tree will do for you. And at the end of it, what you'll get is basically 5 words to live your life by every single day, and then you'll get a cheat sheet to make decisions. So it makes your life super easy. It means you can make decisions just based off like 5 different things. You know, like for me, it's like when I make a decision, the first thing I go to is like, is it going to help me? Can I help people, guide people, support people, inspire people? Like if it does help with that, if it's that version of Dan, it does. But what this will do is it will create certainty in your head, in your conscious brain, to trick it into thinking you're already that person, because it's going to make it easy to make decisions like it. So yeah, that's that in a nutshell. That's it. Come boy. Any questions on anything? Go on.
Two questions for you. One, you mentioned at the beginning about the compliance element. So in terms of your product, how does that help in terms of safeguarding client data?
Yeah, so like we have a full compliance, like a legal team that we pay to sort that out, but basically like it's really heavily ring fenced, and at no point ever can the AI get access to reservation data that's not that person, and not that person who goes to like a verification steps. There's also like some coding that you have to put into I can't pretend to explain how it's done because I'm not a developer, but basically we just have a full legal team that like sorts that out and like basically make sure we're fully compliant with everything. But the biggest part is like anything that's built fast won't have the ring fence because it hasn't got enough data into it. Like we went testing, when we tested for 3 months, it was on fake data for ages. So like we've basically done enough testing to be able to like know that it's fully ring fenced. It can never go wrong. It can never share information. Whereas like someone who says like, oh yeah, use this AI agent that they've just built on Claude, it's going to basically take the reservation data and then there's no like ring fencing around what it is. That's why the knowledge base is so big as well. And that's why like we're a preferred partner on Guesty preferred. We're the first AI agent or AI app to actually get access to the API and uplisting as well. So,
Second question is,
yeah.
you mentioned obviously about the VAs, right? So I suppose the question I have is, utilising your app,
Yeah.
how many VAs do you see, like as you say, like the next time we'll be at the 500
Mhm.
before you decide at that point, you obviously make a question around
Yeah.
you might have to cut.
Yeah.
So where are you seeing, like you said, I think you've got 4 VAs
Yeah.
right now, how do you see that kind of
Yeah. So I went from 7 to 4
Okay.
anyway,
Yeah.
and we've got like 100 and how many live? We've got 168 signed, but I think there's like 140 something live, maybe 150 something live. So we have 4 running because that allows for 24/7 coverage with allowance for people to have days off. That's my thing. You could probably do it with 3, I reckon. But the point is like what's cool is because you save so much money, your margins are so much higher as you start to scale. You can get you could hire UK VAs if you wanted. You could hire Cape Town VAs if you wanted, like rather than Philippines, or you just hire Philippines because like my Philippine VAs are great, so it's fine. But I would say like realistically, the only people you would build out in my head if you were trying to scale it as lean as possible, which is ultimately like how everyone should be doing it. If you're not chasing money, you want to be like doing the abundance side of it. You want to maximize profit rather than maximize revenue. Would just be like 4 VAs like maximum, and then you would just hire more acquisition reps to onboard properties, or like you'd contract them in to onboard properties faster, basically. Like the only limitation already is how many properties you can onboard. That's the only limitation you should have, because everything else should be working in the background, Because like the crazy part is every single agent gets better every single day, and like the crazier part is every time someone now like other people will use them as well. Not only will it have my data, it'll have everyone's data. So they'll just be like supercharged, And then yeah, that's another thing about the compliance part is actually as well is because the way our AI infrastructure works, the way you like create your own AI, no data can go like back up for reservation. No reservation data goes back up to like the main infrastructure as well. Whereas like new agents that get built out, like don't get me wrong, probably some of the other companies have the same sort of structure in terms of that, but they don't have like, the self-learning features. But basically, new agents they just build out and send. It's like it sends messages back up. Like if they couldn't take on 2 clients because they haven't created like a firewall between the clients, basically. Firewall, guards, safeguards. But yeah, that's another one. Yeah, hit me, Paul.
So with your software in place,
Yeah.
what other software do we need to run alongside it? I heard you say Guesty.
Yeah. So like,
What else would we need?
yeah, I mean, in terms of like the software stack now, it'd be like the leanest software stack would be like Guesty, SuiteOp, Price Labs, Notion for a database. Technically, you could use hosting.ai as a database, and if you had Daniel AI, it has its own database. But if you wanted, like, I would say Notion, Guesty, Price Labs, SuiteOp, and then hosting.ai on the front end. Am I missing anything too? Slack, yeah. Slack, that's it? Is that it? Anyone?
I've got 4 there. Guest
Help 'em.
Suite Up, Price Lab.
Notion, Slack, and then hostbnb.ai. Yeah.
Who was the last one?
Hostbnb.ai, the actual app. This one. What's that? Hostbnb.ai. Yeah. 6, I guess, yeah. 6. Slack, yeah, Slack's like just communication tools. But that's how lean it should be for sure, I reckon.
Can you just clarify, if you're in the community, what is it that you're getting?
Everyone in the community gets access to Daniel AI, and then people on one-to-one still on agents. And then if you want to go on agents, depending on how many, there's like different packages depending on how many you want. You can buy them separately, or you can buy like subscribe. It's like imagine like hiring people basically. Is how it works with the agent stack. But Daniel AI, everyone gets access to that. And like Daniel AI technically is the ops manager, so if you're really sneaky, you could do some sort of automation. But
Sorry, one more. How much human intervention will you need once all this is in place?
what's that?
How much human intervention will you need once this is in place?
You will have to have VAs on standby for sure, like trained ultimately, like for the escalation. But like only like 15% of messages will be escalated, and like 30% of calls max will be escalated once it's all set up. So however many properties you have would be how much human intervention, you know. And then like the only thing you would have to do is manage the VAs, basically. If you don't have an ops manager, for example.
Let's clear up like 80% of the work.
Guest messages, yeah. Guest messages, 60% plus the phone calls. And then, but ultimately, like, it's not going to find you properties. It's not going to onboard properties for you, you know. Or it won't, like, what can't it do? The only thing it can't do is onboard properties at the moment. That's what I'm currently, Daniel AI is currently having a moment. That's why he's not live on landing page yet.
He's on the beach in Bali.
Yeah, he's on the beach in Bali. I left him there.
When we get a new reservation, we call the guests just as a courtesy call,
Mhm.
and then we ask them what they're in town for, and then we upsell, and then they're in town for 3 months, and that's how we get a 3-month booking instead of a 1-week booking. Is that still going to be a human task?
Yeah, so I mean, like in host, there's a lot of stuff coming out for hostbnb.ai for sure. Like we're having like currently it can reply to Airbnb, Booking.com inquiries, but like within 2 weeks it'll be able to reply to like inbound inquiries on the website or also like that. Same like phone and guest message inbound, but we haven't currently got it to do as outbound at the moment. We just have like automations to do it, obviously, but there's nothing to say we won't add it in. Like we have like a pipeline of things. Like the next one as well is 11 Labs, so you can clone whatever voice you want. So if you want your own voice on the AI, you can do that. Or you can use Lauren or Laura, that I use. Yeah. And like the big one as well, it replies in any language. So funny, my team are like, what the fuck has it said? I don't know. Just translate it. So it is good though. Like again, like guest experience, the guests love it because it literally replies instantly in their language. You know, and on the phone as well. Just start speaking, what the other person speaks.
Prices and stuff, are we going to see like a follow-up email or something?
Yeah, again, like hostbnb.ai, there's already prices out on that. It's like I think I've already put the price out, and I'll send you a link. There's literally like a pricing calculator. You can just check it. The AI agents, yeah, they depend on like obviously one-to-one clients already get support, already get access to it anyway. But anyone who's in the community will get some sort of discount, and it depends how many agents you want. You don't have to have all 5. You might just want to start with like the Rev Manager. The Rev Manager is the best one by far. Instant feedback. Like it instantly makes your life, like Daniel AI obviously, instantly makes your life better because it just starts making you more money. Like it's like ROI is crazy, you know.
Does it actually suggest changes then to your pricing?
Yeah. So like in the most simple form, what happens is every single morning, it looks at price labs. It marks 30, 60 day, 90 day occupancy, and then it goes on to your guestie so it can see all the current booking prices, like direct Airbnb, Booking.com, anything like that. And then it will go on to Airbnb, Booking.com and Vrbo to check your current settings, like discounts. And it will compare all that data against market data on Property Market Intel, which is pulled from Airbnb and Vrbo. And then it will basically give you suggestions based on your pacing against the market. And the biggest gain is that it's going to increase the prices of a lot of listings. We have like 30 plus every day that get increased because we're pacing way faster than the market.
What's pacing again?
Like how fast you're getting booked out. So like it's all based on like what I've learned over 6 years, and then the day like that's the only caveat, I guess.
That's sort of like if you're always getting last-minute bookings from the last
Yeah.
marketplace to get booked, you might be a little too high.
It'll be like your base price is too high. But it's basically what I did manually with my CEO, Johnny, every single week. It's that. But the difference here is that it learns so fast because it makes the changes. The next day, if it gets a booking at that property for that price, it goes, oh shit, that worked, again. And it goes again, and then it goes the opposite. It's like, if it reduces price, doesn't work, reduces price, hits the min, it'll be like, right, this property's cooked. Or it'll be like, check your block nights. The big one's block nights as well. Gives you like min stay adjustments and stuff like that. Like a lot of people have like so many block nights. And then there is a dashboard that I can show you that it has access to. But the dashboard's currently, I'm working on it. But anyone who gets the Rev Manager, instantly you'll get the, let me just unplug for a second. Don't want to see me photos, do you? I'll show you what it looks like. So like, this is like in Slack, right? And then like you'll see like raise now, raise carefully, monitor, stimulate. You can ignore that some of these are not live, so you can ignore some of them. But if you like this, open full dashboard. Again, this is all draft mode, so you can kind of ignore the data. But that's what it will look like. The idea being that you'll already, when you get the Rev Manager, you already get the autonomous, but this is what it does. And it'll basically have the top opportunities and what it's changed each day. At the moment, this is the suggestions. But like you can see, it already suggests like so many to 71 to raise price, you know? But yeah, the idea is that you can white label that and then be able to have access to a dashboard. Is my thoughts, but currently that's in construction, but the Rev Manager itself will just continue to work anyway. Make sense? Anyone else questions on anything?
Yeah, Dan, 2 more questions, please.
Go for it.
You mentioned property market intel.
Mm-hmm.
So with your AI software, does that mean that we wouldn't need property market intel because your thing already covers it, or would we still need it as a part of?
This is where there's like a little bit of loophole if you want to get it. But like, so Daniel AI is credit off my profit market intel. So like, but the Rev Manager is credit off your profit market intel. So if you get access to all of them, the way it works is like, I can't give you, obviously, my APIs aren't going to pull your data. So what it does is like you'll connect like your API for Guesty or whatever software you use. Okay, your API for Price Labs, your API for Profit Market Intel, your API for like Claude if you've got Claude as well, so it can like actively use it. Daniel AI is a bit different because technically you can just ask Daniel AI to send you the property address, do the property address thing because it has the power to do it, and that would use mine. So whichever one. I guess.
And then the other question I have is, in terms of using your AI product, how many properties would you need to have at first that you actually, or is it something you can start from ground zero anyway?
Yeah, you can start from ground zero. At the end of the day, it's like the lowest cost right now is $35 per listing, and it goes down the number of units you have, like tax band pricing, so it gets cheaper. But I said like ultimately you could have 4 properties. $35 is cheaper than what a VA would be. It's 24 hours. Yes, the escalations would come to you, but like if I was starting from scratch, I would have it because are you going to have it at 5? You're going to have it at 10? Yeah, you are. So it's like, why not have it now? But like, yeah, realistically, a VA costs $700 a month, and like min's like $350. It's like even if you're spending that, it's like I would say, yeah. I mean, ultimately, definitely have it at 5 listings. If you didn't have it at like 2, I wouldn't be like. It's ultimately like when do you want to invest into. Depends how much you're making, right? If there's no, if you can't pay for it, then don't buy it. Yeah. But if you've got enough, I say like ultimately, if you're not making any money on your first like 2 listings, but you have all the systems, then it shouldn't really matter, because then you don't have to worry about anything. And like I said this in the community, like the biggest limitation again, like I find with people trying to scale is that they don't trust the own systems they got in place. So that comes through, and they're trying to close a landlord. They're like, I can't close landlords. And I'm like, well, do you believe in your software realistically? Do you actually believe you could take it on? Yeah, well, it doesn't sound very convincing. It's because like subconsciously you know that like you don't believe in that, you don't understand it or don't believe it, whatever it is. So it's like until you fix that and trust that, then the universe ain't going to give you the properties, is the point. Yeah. No worries. Or you too. Daniel AI?
So the other day you said something about you reduced the number of zaps that you have because
Yeah.
you're using bits more.
Yeah.
I'm literally about to start building all the zaps out now. I've got everything sort of set up in
Yeah.
place. Is it a case of get this first and then build all the zaps based on what this is?
Well, you are having the zaps tomorrow, so you will have them. You'll have them. I'm promising myself this. I'm promising you this. That I'm going to send you the Google Doc tomorrow on the Zapier templates. But yeah, I think I've got 5 zaps now, core zaps that work, and then
How big are
it depends if you're on Guesty, because the Guesty one's a bit of a, yeah, they're not that big, to be honest with you. They're pretty simple zaps. Because like realistically, it's like, what I've gone away from is like building out all this like really, like obviously this is pretty cool, right? But it's like simplicity scales, less people, less effort. Like that's like the biggest thing. If I could take away anything like scaling an Airbnb business, like simplicity scales. If it seems complex, just don't do it. Like basically, the zero zap's a bit big, because it's like if it's on Guesty, there's like 3 different prongs, but other than that, the rest of them are pretty small. They're just like do this, do this, do this, do this, like 4 steps maybe. So they're not crazy. It's like Zapier is like if this, then do this. Yeah, Zapier, yeah. Like a Zap is the automation, yeah. The actual automation is a Zap, yeah. If this, then that, then that.
Off the back of the question about when you're starting out,
Mhm.
you said like it looks at the conversations for the last 6 months.
Yeah.
So if you're new, how is the AI going to get the information?
You'll just get the default, basically. You'll get the default like tonality. Yeah, so you won't have like, the reason we do the 6 months conversation isn't to scan for data. We scan the actual channel manager at airbnbbooking.com and Notion for that. You like import your Notion. That's the knowledge base. The reason for the scanning the messages is for like additional SOPs we can build out, and also the tonality of the AI. So it sounds like you straight away.
So if it asks something specific about your property, it's using your Notion.
Yeah, well so the way we use like, what happens is, connects to channel manager, pulls all the data from the channel manager straight away, and then your knowledge base score will be like 50%. Right, and then you'll go Notion, export, import, then it will go to like 60% maybe. And then it's like you just finer details. But if you filled out our Notion template, the whole of it, then you're going to have most of the details anyway. We just export it, import it, and then you just complete the knowledge base. And then once it does that, the reason for the 6 month scanning is to like preempt issues that have already been solved and build tonality. So it sounds like you in the most simple form. So if you don't have the messages to scan, it will just go for default tone, which is like what it learned off from me. That's kind of the default. Worst case scenario is you have AI that sounds like my AI. So, very blunt and to the point.
What about if you set up on one channel manager and then a month later you're moving to a new one?
Literally just API switch. Yeah, API switch, and it's all right. It'll just, your knowledge base won't leave, is the point. Like, once they're on, one thing we're really careful of is that if you delete a property on Guesty, your knowledge base still stays on hostbnb.ai. So like, it can resync data, but it won't ever delete it, which is good. Because if you delete it, then it's annoying. Like, i.e. when like, you connect to SuiteOp and it does the whole thing where it goes, and you like lose data. The idea is that you don't lose the data. You just connect it to the new one. Also as well, like we had people like James Ronan's not here, but he's onboarding with Guesty. It takes like 4 weeks, and he started his onboarding now with us, because realistically, time frame wise, it still works. So depends how fast you're going to change, but it will. Uplisting, host away, and rental ready have been added, and Guesty's already there.
You're going to add more? Channel manager?
Yeah, a few, but like, it's like, do we need to? I think if people come to us and they want to add it, then we will. But right now, like those 4, and then we'll just keep adding a few. But like a lot of channel managers have their own stuff, but it's never as good. Because like if the channel manager had it, he wouldn't be asking for it anyway. Like the guy on Rent Already who just joined us and we set up the API with him, he was like, well, it's good, but it's also like, it's not good because the knowledge base is still not good enough, or it doesn't do phone calls. Like phone calls is massive. Depends how stubborn the owner is, basically. Uplisting took us ages to get, but we got it in the end. But yeah, if they're really stubborn, then maybe not. Like hospitable, I haven't asked them yet, but I don't like hospitable, so. Only people I like can get on. But like, to be honest, like for us, it's like one big thing for me is like I've realized that every single thing, yes, obviously I make money from this, right? But like every single thing I've done is to help people. Like 53 Reviews Property, help my family, Airbnb or Host and Scale, everyone it's called, whenever you joined, is like to help you guys tangibly make money and be free. The Scale community, tangibly get your time back. Hostbnb.ai literally frees you up instantly, Like, and then obviously the Alignment Club as well, which is like help. So.
I have a question. You were talking about the damage waivers before as well.
Yeah.
I saw it recently on your story as well. How does that work? Would you mind elaborating?
Yeah. So like SuiteOp, absolute gem. If you don't like SuiteOp, the app is where you can run damage waivers and upsells. You could like run them yourself, but damage waivers is basically like car insurance for a rental car. You can pay a deposit of £350, or you can pay a damage waiver of X amount. The damage waiver will cover you up to the deposit, right? Your excess basically. If it's a damage over the deposit, then you're still going to get charged, I guess. You still have their details. But it's like you basically take on the risk that the guest isn't going to cause an issue. And the risk is the difference between the damage waiver and the deposit. And like from a guest side, some of them don't want to pre-authorize £350 deposit on their card, so they just pay the damage waiver, which is like between £25 and £110 per stay. Because we do £25 per night up to 110, minimum's 50. So, yeah, and then they just basically pay, like I could show you.
What's that? What's that you said?
What?
Sweet top?
Sweet Top, yeah, so SUITEOP. And then, like, the reason I say use Sweet Op over building something yourself is that, like, Sweet Op is literally designed and it has an analytics dashboard to be able to maximize conversion of damage waivers. And it's like the easiest money ever made. Like, you know. And like the idea being that, like, yes, there's a small risk at the start where you don't have a pot made up of like damage waivers to be able to pay out of, because the risk is that they damage over 350 and you don't have any money to pay out. But the only risk is at the start when you deploy it. And if you have like more than, to be honest, people deploy it with 3 properties and they've got the money back in, like within 3 bookings. So we have like a 65% take rate on the damage waiver. My friend has a 100% take rate. Don't know what he's done there, but absolute scammer. I think he just doesn't let them buy a deposit, to be honest with you. But he's like really high-end properties, so they don't really care. Yeah.
Okay, so I don't deal with the one man.
Yeah.
I've heard of all this stuff. I don't know what he does.
Yeah.
So if we had all this stuff in place, the SD Sweet Op, price, promotion, and stack, right? All of that functioning.
Yeah.
Right? Just if you simplify it for me, what would Daniel AI offer to them? What would it do?
If
If you simplify it.
yeah. Ultimately, like right now, an escalation on the front end. So like if a guest messaged your AI and the AI didn't have the information, for whatever reason, it was like a really edge case, right? And didn't have the information, Daniel AI would be able to create a reply for your team to send. And if you had any questions, Daniel AI would be able to answer your questions. Like if you were like, if you had no agents, for example, and you were like, one of your listings isn't performing, then you could ask Daniel AI why it's not performing, and it'll be able to scan the listing and be like, yo, this is what you need to do. Make sense? Because like the only human intervention will be escalations. I mean, landlords, obviously, like if you don't have any agents, you have to deal with the landlords as well. But the human intervention comes from the escalation, from like the front end AI. So if hostbnb.ai can't answer the question, because it's like an edge case where you haven't filled out the knowledge base, then it's going to come through to Slack for your team to answer. But if you have no team there, you have to answer it. And if you have Daniel AI, it'll prompt you for an answer to send. So that's what Daniel AI would do.
And also say $200K a year.
And say, yeah, like, that's actually a bit cheap, to be fair. It's probably like 1.5 million, you know, to get that sort of knowledge. Don't want to stand myself short, you know.
You need full-time VA because that escalation can come at any time of day.
Yeah, that's why I say, like, the maximum number of VAs you need is, like, 3, 4 if they have days off, or 4 if they have, like, going to be ill.
24-hour cover.
Yeah, 24-hour cover. Like, ultimately, like, very rarely do you have, like, I mean, I have how many properties? It's like, we really rarely have issues at, like, 2 a.m. Like, because you've got so much in place already. You know, you've already got, like, property inspections going on. You've got, like, the cleaners going in. Like, realistically, what's going to happen unless there's, like, a party, it's never really, like, a guest issue at, like, 3 a.m. in the morning. Got such a good fucking blink camera video of this guy trying to get into the video, like, absolutely pissed out of his head trying to get into the, it's like this. And he's like, the keys broke. I was like, bro, there's literally a video of you breaking it. It's so funny. But yeah, other than that, nothing really happens. He actually booked a hotel, so there you go. But I sent the video and he didn't want his money back, so it's all right. Fair enough. So funny. RJ? Yeah, like with what? If you want to sell the AI agents? Yeah. You can do that, yeah, for sure. I mean, you maybe change it to RJ AI, but you know, yeah, we can white label. Like ultimately, the agent's white label anyway. So like, the product would be. But yeah, we can chat about it for sure. It's very easy for me to do. Yeah, for sure. Any more for any more? Yeah.
Ask the question, handles landlord questions, but is that voice or just typing?
Currently just typing, to be fair, yeah. Just typing. Like, it lives inside the email inbox. It's a good point, though. Hostbnb.ai is something like we could bring into, because Hostbnb.ai is just like one product of like 5 other products that we're bringing out that like are useful. The agents are cool because they're like inside your business, whereas like the other products we're bringing out, like databnb.ai is just a dynamic dashboard that you can just use that makes it look way prettier than Guesty. Acquirebnb.ai is a landlord a landlord-facing, a landlord-facing like pipeline, which does all the outbound calls, Facebook lead calls, all that. Like that's being built. So it's like, yeah, the landlord CSM is just email only. Yeah, but I literally tell all of our landlords anyway, like, you're not allowed to call us. Not allowed to WhatsApp us, not allowed to call us, no one's fucking answering. Unless you're booking a call on a Google Meet. So if they do that, partners email only. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta say, look, sorry, change my number. What's the new number? Block. It's like, oops, sorry, my bad. Email this email here, I'll send you my new number, and then just never send it. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, is this an AI or a human thing? So, apartment complex
Yeah.
changes their intercom system,
Yeah.
sends email to whoever's email address is registered for that flat.
Yeah.
Email comes into our inbox saying that the intercom has been changed, and then new instructions need to be written, and the cleaners need to go by there and test it. And da, 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 da.
Yeah.
Like, this is a human thing, presumably, that needs to be done.
Yeah, I mean, I presume, so it'll come into like it'll come into like a bookings email, I guess,
Yeah,
or like a partner's email.
yeah.
What would happen is like the way that the CSM is set up now, it just can't answer. If a random email comes into the partner's email, ideally you only have emails from landlords in there, but if it doesn't, it'll notify in Slack and be like, I can't answer this question. And then ultimately one of your team will deal with it.
Okay.
Yeah, or you could forward it to Daniel AI and he can answer it for you. But you won't be able, like, that's the...
It's such a unique,
Yeah, like edge. That's the thing. There's always gonna be edge cases. That's why you need. That's why you want some people.
yeah.
But then, like, if you want to get like really in depth, like within like a year or maybe two, you'll be able to have AGI. So the AGI will be better than a person. So like it'll be able to think for itself, and then like you won't have to do anything. It'll just run the management company for you, you know. But like, we're all screwed at that point, so we're all cooked. Nah, it'll be fine. But yeah, I would say like that's always some escalations you wanted, you know. Yeah, edge cases, yeah. And that's the same why it doesn't answer 100% of messages. There's always one guest that asks the most West question. That even after 3 years of helping people and 7 years in the industry, I don't have a knowledge-based thing for. Once it asks once, doesn't get asked again, yeah. So that's what's cool. And that's why hostboomi.ai is getting so powerful, is because of the Daniel AI, how it pulls back in the SOPs. So it like preempts what's going to happen and just creates like general SOPs for it.